Heaven Official's Blessing. Chapter 163. Audio source: wuxia-world-audiobook.com. Riddle of the Mysterious Head Priest Confounding Minds. Lian's heart started racing wildly, and even his fingertips were slightly trembling. However, he remained composed and didn't make a sound, only lifting his head a little to whisper next to Hua Cheng's ear. "San Lang, don't move. The voice out there sounds a lot like my master. Let's not be discovered." Although very similar, he couldn't say for sure either, since it wasn't like there weren't people who shared similar voices. Besides, he hadn't seen the head priest for centuries, so he could very well remembered wrong. If they didn't make any reckless moves and only observed quietly to see how things would progress, perhaps they would learn more secrets. Hua Cheng also bowed his head slightly, hugging his waist. "Alright, you don't move either." Rocks and earth crushed at them from all around, forcing their bodies to press tightly against one another, their faces brushing, their ears warm. Although it wasn't the right time, a thought flashed through Lian's mind: to die buried together doesn't feel so bad. Just then, that voice sounded again. "What about the other two? Where have they run off to?" "The other two? There are two more companions?" Lian wanted to listen closely to find out just who the other person conversing was. But the strange thing was, after the head priest, he would address him as head priest. For now, after he posed the question, there wasn't any response. It really was strange. In such a distance, Lian and Hua Cheng could both hear head priest's question. And technically, his voice wasn't loud and he wasn't yelling at the top of his lungs, so the other party shouldn't be too far away either. If they should respond, then at least some voice would be heard. Yet, there really was nothing to be heard. Head priest spoke up again. "Thank them for their efforts, but there's no need to worry about the small fries anymore. Nothing will come of them. We've got more important things to do right now." "What's going on?" Lian wondered. This clearly shows he's gotten a response and is talking to someone. The head priest outside was almost like he was talking to himself or having a conversation with air. A creepy image appeared in Lian's head and he immediately brushed it off, thinking there might be another possibility, which was head priest could hear that person's voice but no one else could. Suspicion was growing thicker and thicker in his head, and he listened with more and more intensity, turning over each word the head priest uttered in his mind as head priest added, "Is that all the people inside the mountain? In any case, let's bring them all to the kiln first. I'll think of a way to take care of them one by one then. The faster the better. They must get there within 2 days." The kiln. And within 2 days. The distance-shortening array couldn't be used within Mount Tonglu, so how could they get there in 2 days? And what was this take care of them? After a pause, that voice continued, "Call the other two over, let's go to the kiln together. In order to face His Highness the Crown Prince, not a single one of us should be missing. Right now he's still not yet awakened. If he should awake, it's hard to imagine what he will do this time." Lian was shocked. Was he talking about him? Right then, there was the sounds of explosion within the mountain body. Lian heard the head priest outside question, "What's going on?" Inside the stone wall, he also turned to Hua Cheng to ask, "What's going on?" "Something's happened on the other side," Hua Cheng whispered. Lian hadn't yet responded and Hua Cheng already pressed his forehead with his. In Lian's right eye, the situation with Yin Yu and Quan Yizhen on the other side of the cave appeared once more. And this should be what had happened a little earlier. Yin Yu finally dug out Quan Yizhen from the stone wall, laboriously dragged him down and heaved a sigh. Yet unexpected, the unconscious Quan Yizhen suddenly leapt to his feet and pulled the mask off of Yin Yu's face. Quan Yizhen was actually only pretending to have fainted earlier. Now that Lian thought about it, Quan Yizhen would be extremely familiar with Yin Yu's habit of pacing when thinking. The way he spoke, his strength when he hit, and perhaps the moment Yin Yu's shovel was swinging down his way, he had already known who was behind the mask. It was inconceivable that there'd come a day someone like Quan Yizhen would know to use deception. Although it was nothing more than the most ordinary of tricks, but when it was Quan Yizhen who used it, it could be considered completely out of this world, which was why no one was prepared. Underneath the mask was that terrified and dimly pale face of Yin Yu, obviously stunned from surprise. Quan Yizhen, however, was fiercely thrilled, jumping with his head covered in blood. Shiong. Yin Yu looked like he saw something extremely horrifying, his lips twisting, then abruptly, he hugged his head. "You've got the wrong person." Having roared, he bolted. As he ran, he blasted at the person behind him to block him. "Don't come near me. Don't follow me." Quan Yizhen also dashed after him, completely ignoring the blasts, and only yelled, "Shiong! It's me." Yin Yu roared, "My God, it's because it's you that I'm terrified. Don't follow me." The two ran and fought the entire way, causing the mountain to rumble from the blasts. Over on this side, the head priest was puzzled. What are they doing over there? What's all the noise? There was still no one who answered him, but the head priest seemed to have gotten his response. "I see. Kids these days, so energetic. I'll take my leave first. Let's get together again once you're close to the kiln." He was going to leave. Hearing this, Huacheng covered Xie Lian's ears anew, and Xie Lian closed his eyes. A moment later, there was a violent tremor from all around, and the stone wall that had been pushing against their bodies was finally blown apart. The two leapt out together, landing lighting on their feet, and breathed fresh air once more. However, on the outside was an empty cave. There was no head priest nor that mysterious second person, their figures completely gone. Xie Lian and Huacheng exchanged a look. They weren't in a hurry to give chase, and they hadn't yet separated when from the cave adjacent to them came charging a black-clad man. It was Yin Yu. He waved the crescent shovel and dashed madly towards the two. "Chengzu, Your Highness." Behind him, Quan Yizhen, who was head covered in blood from the blows, also came rushing in. Huacheng didn't bother looking up and only flicked his hand. There was a boom sound. Quan Yizhen instantly raised both arms to block, yet the move Huacheng used couldn't be blocked by fists. After smokes dispersed, what was left where Quan Yizhen stood was a Daruma doll with big, wide eyes, looking very innocent. It was the same trick Huacheng used on Lang Qianchu last time. Only then did Yin Yu stop his crazed run, wiping his sweat away as he approached. "I'm eternally grateful, Chengzu. Did you really have to be so scared?" Huacheng asked. Yin Yu was still shaken, and he smiled bitterly. "Truth to be told, right now when I see His Highness Qi Ying, I only want to run for as far away as possible." When Xie Lian heard, he found it funny but could sympathize. It seemed Quan Yizhen's personality is now a severe shadow in Yin Yu's heart. That Daruma doll was still on the ground, wide-eyed as it swayed heavily back and forth without anyone caring. Xie Lian felt pity for it and was about to pick it up when he suddenly felt the ground shake, his body also falling over along with the tremors, almost a shaking harder than that Daruma doll. He quickly steadied himself. "What's going on? Earthquake?" Although Xie Lian didn't need help, Huacheng still held his arm to help steady him, and he turned to Yin Yu. "Open a tunnel and go out to take a look." Yin Yu recovered extremely fast and acknowledged, "Yes, sir." Then he picked up his crescent shovel, rapidly and concisely dug out a hole in a small amount of time. Sunlight from the outside shone through. When Yin Yu took a look, surprise filled his face. Xie Lian asked, "Your Highness Yin Yu, is it an earthquake or is the mountain collapsing?" "It's neither," Yin Yu answered. "This mountain spirit, it's running." Xie Lian and Huacheng exchanged a look and both ran up to look outside the mountain spirit. It really was running. Outside the body of the mountain, all the sceneries, the landscapes were rapidly speeding behind, almost reduced to nothing but colorful streaks. From the looks of it, it was like they were riding a fast-running horse carriage, or like they were sitting on the shoulders of a giant, running wild. Hills, rivers, fields, forests, they were all trampled beneath the feet of this mountain spirit, crushed to make way. Whooshing whirlwinds blew in from the hole in the hair, and ribbon bands all started dancing in the air. Yin remarked, "By the speed of this run, it'll probably only take 2 days to reach the kiln." 2 days. Hearing this, it dawned on Lian. No wonder they couldn't hear the responding voice of the other person, and no wonder the head priest requested for the other to bring them to the kiln within 2 days. Because at the time, head priest wasn't talking to another person, he was talking to this mountain spirit. Watching must have figured it out too, just as well. Borrowing its strength, we won't need to walk so slowly anymore. Once we're there, that person outside the stone wall will show himself again. We'll know what he wants then. Lian, however, was looking somber. Watching noticed and asked, "Gurgur, what's wrong? What did he mean, not yet awakened?" Lian asked. That voice earlier said, "Right now he's still not yet awakened. If he should wake, it's hard to imagine what he will do this time." Lian said, "If that man really was my master, and he was talking about me, then what did he mean by all that?" "Gurgur, don't think too much right now," Watching said. "First, that man might not be your master. Second, the crown prince he spoke of might not be you. But if it was," Lian urged, "I have some baseless guesses. Will you hear me out and see if they make sense?" "Very well. Gurgur, do tell," Watching said. Lian started. "Assuming that man is my master, the 3 mountains, old age, sickness, and death, have birth missing. He can communicate with the mountain spirits. He's a person, but the one conversing with him is a mountain spirit. In their conversation they mention the other 2, and it might be the other 2 mountain spirits. There are 4 of them. I was thinking, do the 3 mountain spirits all possess human consciousness? Or perhaps they were transformed from people from the beginning, and head priest was the birth who never appeared." He was thinking more and more, his heart beating rapidly in his chest, and he continued. "Mount Tonglu used to be part of the Wu Yang kingdom. Birth, old age, sickness, death are a set of 4. Coincidentally, the crown prince of Wu Yang also have 4 guardian gods. And there were also 4 head priests who taught me when I grew up in Xianle. Do countries typically have that many head priests? I didn't think anything of it in the past, but now I realize there's normally not that many. Do you think this is a coincidence? Or is there a deeper meaning in all this?" Watching replied, "There's no deeper meaning. Maybe it just so happens there's 4. Aren't the 4 famous sites also 4? There weren't 4 in the 4 calamities, so one had to be forced into its ranks." However, Lian was still following his train of thoughts. "But if it's true that my 4 masters were the 4 guardian gods of the crown prince of Wu Yang, why did they come to Xianle to become head priests of Xianle? Why did they come to teach me? Is there something about me that I myself wasn't aware of? Could it be that I'm actually—" He was going off like someone possessed, and Watching gripped his shoulders, speaking with conviction. "It's not possible. I can swear, you are you. You're not anyone else. Trust me. Don't read too much into things and imagine what's not there." Other than his parents, head priest was someone Lian was the closest and most familiar with. Although head priest often dismissed him and was often reserved because he was wary of Lian's position, but overall, he was a good teacher. To suddenly discover he might not know someone he thought he was familiar with was something that'd easily confound the heart. Watching softened his voice. "All right, Gurgur, think back carefully. What was the head priest of Xianle's background?" Lian mulled over the question. "I'm not sure. Really, he actually couldn't remember where his master came from." Humming for a moment, Lian said, Head priest was head priest before I was born. I only know that he was called Mei Nianqing, but needless to say, that must be a fake name. I've also thought this before in the past. Head priest is such an incredible character, how come he didn't ascend? If that was him just now, then the years he's spent in this world must be many more than me. We'll take care of things as they come, Watching said. Remember that if anything should happen, I'm here. I will always be on your side. Lian stared at him, stunned and speechless. A moment later, a small smile appeared on his face. Yin Yu's sense of presence was already feigned, and since he didn't speak the whole time, he was practically forgotten. Only now did he speak up. Changzu, do we need to go find the others? They've come out, but who knows which corner Pei Ming and the others were being digested by the mountain spirit after having been swallowed. Lian quickly replied, yes. Let's go find them together. Please wait, Your Highness Yin Yu. Your Highness, there's no need to call me Your Highness. I'm not a heavenly official of the upper court anymore, Yin Yu said. Lian smiled. Then you can just call me by my name too, no need to be so polite. I also haven't been a crown prince in a long time. Yin Yu glanced at Watching standing behind Lian and hastily replied. Dare not. I shouldn't. I can't. What's the concern? Lian said and took a couple steps out, ready to pick up Quan Yizhen the Daruma doll when a figure suddenly dropped from the sky and fell heavily before him, the sound of bones cracking loud and crisp in the air. End chapter.